Looking back at it now, it's a hell of a lot cooler than we thought it was while we were doing it. We were just doing what was natural to us and what was, inspiring to us and what was an outlet for us. Living Proof was the brainchild of myself and Dan Christensen. What we started with and what we ended with were two very different things. It morphed into something that came organically, which was we found ourselves in this place where we would talk openly about the artists that inspired us. What we found is that a lot of people weren't familiar with these artists. And so this felt like a service that we developed Living Proof as an education and an inspiration to help other people learn about artists that we had known about. It really is started as an idea, as an agency annual report, but morphed into an inspirational editorial that was distributed at Tier 0 sneaker accounts, including Supreme New York, Supreme LA, and a list of others. The report back from all the outlets was, as soon as they would put them out, they were gone. We distributed these for free. We went from a little saddle stitch right into perfect bound. One of the editorial contributors went on to work at places like Complex and High Snobiety, and then ultimately Nike, and is one of my best friends and sources of inspiration still today. So a lot of the relationships we made doing this have aged really well, almost as well as these perfect bound books. One of the greatest things was to be able to collaborate with some of my good friends who happen to be great artists. This is Dean Blotto Gray, featured here, some of his photography, but this was a portrait that I painted of Blotto. It took me quite a long time, a lot of layers and collaging in there, newspaper, acrylic. We made 2 collaborative skateboards. This one, for instance, specifically was done by Curtis Coolig, the artist that goes by Love Me, and he took inspiration of all the people that were influential in his circle. I think you might recognize this gentleman. As an extension of the brand beyond editorial magazine, we developed, some apparel offerings and some collaborations. We partnered with a company who was a client of ours, Flat Fitty, back then, and in collaboration with that boy, Kevin Lyons, with his little fuck you monster throughout the satin liner. So this was a really fun item that was a great showcase of collaborating with a dope artist. The fact that so much time has gone by and these artists are still relevant, it just shows that we were ahead of the game in creating something, a cultural moment. Was this a success back then? Did I think of it, or Dan think of it as a success? There were lots of wins and lots of successes. We didn't look at it like that. We just looked like we were doing something that was rad in the moment, bringing my friends together, bringing creatives together, cultivating a community, sneaker culture, graffiti culture, art culture, music, everything that was happening there that was inspiring us, we got to utilize and inspire others. When we delivered these, they came with stickers. And so we're gonna age ourselves. If you look at that sticker, you'll see, livingproofmag.com followed by a MySpace account.